What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. And today I have a deck profile of the Twilight deck that I came in first place with at Black Market Cards out in Clarkston, Michigan in their Edison format tournament. Now for me, I've always loved the Lightsworn. I've always loved the chaos aspect. You know, unfortunately in Edison we don't get the big bad chaos monster Blackluster Soldier. Unfortunately, but we still make do with what we have. So let's go ahead and we'll dive on in. Alright, starting off we have 2 copies of the big baddie himself, Judgment Dragon. I mean, nice level 8, able to blow up the field. So we got 2 copies of Judgment Dragon, pretty much the standard for a lot of Twilight decks, I feel. Not many are playing just the one. Following up, we got 3 of Lila, very good for clearing out back row or anything else you might be experiencing, like the field zone. Because, you know, I did play a Gravekeeper deck, so having Necro Valley on the field was something to keep in mind with Lila. So we got 3 copies of Lila, followed by 3 copies of the best boy himself, Raikou, our nice new QCRs as well too. So we got 3 copies of Raikou, followed by our one-ofs of the Lightsworn monsters. So we got 1 Arcus, we got 1 Lumina, we got 1 Jane, 1 Aaron, we got 1 Garroth, 1 Wolf, and then 1 Celestia. So it does help fill up the names for the 4 that we need for Judgment Dragon. Only playing 1 Wolf. I know some people might play more, maybe a little more common in the pure Lightsworn build. Then we got 2 Honest, which is pretty much like the honorary Lightsworn, I would say. Next up, we got Caius, obviously a staple in Edison format, followed by Dark Arm Dragon. Of course we need Dad in here. Next up, we got Chaos Sorcerer, the one Chaos Monster, pure Chaos Monster, I guess I should say, that we are able to play in Edison format. Rest in peace, Blackluster Soldier, and Chaos Emperor, realistically. Now we got Gale, just so we do have, well, we have another tuner, but, you know, having Gale in here just so we can access the extra deck a little bit easier. Not only that, the effect to be able to cut the attack and defense in half. Definitely a good thing to have. So 1 Gale, followed by 1 Plague Spreader. Since we're doing so much milling, if we mill off Plague Spreader, definitely not a problem. Next up, we got our Sangan, our Necro Gardener, our Card Trooper, kind of our little extra boys in here. Sangan, so we can search out some stuff. Necro Gardener, because we are milling so often, able to negate, you know, an attack with that, which definitely did come in handy in one of my matches. And then, of course, got Card Trooper, honorary Lightsworn, I would say, since you're able to mill in the main phase with them. Next up, we got Gors and Tragodia, pretty self-explanatory, just solid hand traps. And we got 2 copies of DD Crow. I don't believe it ever came up in any of my matches, but it's good to have, you know? You never know what you might be going against, you know, at a random Edison tournament. So having DD Crow in there, it's also a dark as well, so helps with Dad, helps with Chaos Sorcerer. Next up in the spells, we got our 3 copies of Solar Recharge, always a staple, followed by our 1 copy of Charge the Light Brigade. Then we also have 2 copies of Monster Reincarnation, just in case we mill off anything that we might need. Then we got our Pot of Avarice, since we are milling so often, able to at least get some kind of draw power in this deck by shuffling in those 5 monsters. Then we got our 1 copy of Allure of Darkness, our 1 MST, our 1 Heavy Storm, our 1 Nobleman of Crossout, just, you know, because Gravekeeper Spy is still around. Super Mega Nimble Hamster is also a thing as well too, and on the rare occasion, we might hit Raikou as well. So, there are flip monsters out there in Edison format, but hey, another card that we are able to side out if need be. And then we also have 1 copy of Brain Control, to round out the spells. For the traps, we're only running pretty much 3. Yep, 3. So we got our 1 Threatening Roar, our 1 Trap Dust Shoot, because hand advantage, hand knowledge, I should say, is the best advantage that we can have. And then, of course, Mirror Force to round out the deck. So going into the extra deck, we have our Armory Arm, we have our Cataster, we have our Flame Veil Urquizas, we have Yugioh Guardian, we have our Brio, Tempest Magician, Blackwing Armor Master, Arcanite Magician, Urbellum, Black Rose Dragon, Colossal Fighter, Thought Ruler Archfiend, Dark End Dragon, Stardust Dragon, and Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon, since we do have Cyber Dragon in the side. Now, if I had a copy of it, I would have had Mistworm in there as well too, but unfortunately, I don't know what happened to my copies, so that's kind of what we just had to make do with. But for the side deck, we got 2 copies of Cyber Dragon, we got 2 copies of Consecrated Light, which, wow, what a hell of a card to side in against Gravekeepers. Then we got our 1 copy of Jowgen the Spiritualist. We have our 1 Kaiku the Ghost Destroyer. Then we have Possessed Dark Soul. So another Twilight deck that I saw online was playing this, which is actually pretty good tech in case you're going against frogs. So you can tribute this face-up card and take control of all face-up level 3 or lower monsters your opponent controls until they are destroyed or removed from the field. So pretty good spicy tech against frogs. And it's a dark, so not bad. But Possessed Dark Soul. Now we got our Cold Wave, always a very good staple when you got a monster like Judgment Dragon or Dark Arm Dragon in here. My Body is a Shield, Mind Control. Then we got 2 copies of Royal Decree, just to shut down all those traps. And we're not really running that many traps anyways, so we can just side them out. Then we got the Royal Oppression, and Mind Crush as well. Mind Crush actually pairs really well with Trap Dust Shoot. So there you have it. That was my deck. I mean, let me know what you guys would do differently. I thought it played pretty well. I know Twilight and Lightsworn, it's kind of in like that upper echelon of Edison. Doesn't always break on through to be in the top. But hey, every now and then you're able to top a locals with it. I don't know about an Ultimate Time Wizard tournament at like a YCS, but hey, if you're just going to do locals and you want a fun deck, that's the one that I used, and it did pretty well for me. So comment down below what you guys would do differently. Of course, be sure to check out those links down below as well too. We will see you guys on the next one. Goodbye, and good night.
I, Seto Kaiba, president of Kaiba Corp., implore you to check these recommended videos. While you're at it, hit subscribe and burst stream that notification bell for all future videos.